Listen to part of a lecture in an art history class.
That's enough about Renaissance art. So let's move on to the architecture of that period. We'll start with Italy, since Italian architecture, just like Italian art, greatly influenced the rest of Europe. In the early 15th century, a series of events occurred that helped advance the Italian Renaissance. First, there was a period of political and religious stability. Second, the northern Italian city-states of Florence, Genoa, Pisa, Milan, and Venice became extremely wealthy and powerful. Just so you know, I mentioned Florence first because the architectural movement of the Italian Renaissance began there. All of these city-states were run by influential families that enjoyed art and wanted new buildings designed and erected. Third, the Roman Catholic Church began to commission great buildings. This eventually included the Basilica of St. Peter's in Vatican City. Finally, the ideas of ancient Rome and Greece began to spread throughout the literature and art of the age.
Okay, what is the part about? What is the topic going to be today? It's about Renaissance architecture, right? And there was a series of events that helped advance the Italian Renaissance. Okay, what was that? How many events were there? 4, right? What was the first one? It was a period of political and religious stability. That was the first one. And the second one was the northern Italian city-states becoming extremely wealthy and powerful. Okay. And the third one was Roman Catholic Church began to commission great buildings. And the last one, the fourth one, is the ideas of ancient Rome and Greece began to spread throughout the literature and art of the age. Okay? All right. That's enough about Renaissance art. Okay? That's enough. Renaissance art. What is Renaissance? Renaissance is the period in Europe, mostly in, mainly in Italy, in the 14th, 15th, 16th century, okay? When there was a new interest in art, literature, science, and learning, all right? Renaissance, what does re mean? Re means again, right? Naissance, what does that mean? Naissance means being born, all right? So Renaissance means being born again. What is being born again? Literature, art, okay, science, and those kind of interests, okay? So what was the period before Renaissance then? Okay, why do they call the why do they say there was a new interest? It's because the Renaissance is the period after the Middle Ages, okay? The Middle Ages, all the interest was focused on religion, okay? The Catholic, right? And all your ideas, art, and everything was restricted to religion. So the focus moved from God to humans in our Renaissance period, all right? So the Middle Ages, why do you call it the Middle Ages? Because it's in the middle of the two periods, which is the Renaissance, and what was the period before? The classical period, which was the Greeks and Romans, the Greek and Roman period, okay, when they had their civilization, great civilization, okay. So the Middle Ages is called the Middle Ages because it's in between the classical, which means the Greek and Roman period, and the Renaissance. Do you get that? So let's move on to the architecture of that period. Architecture. What is architecture? Architecture is the designing, planning, designing, and constructing a building, okay? Architecture of that period. What is a period? Period is a length of time. We will start with Italy since Italian architecture, just like Italian art, greatly influenced the rest of Europe. We'll start with Italy since. What does that mean, since? Since means because. Because Italian architecture, just like Italian art, greatly influenced the rest of Europe. What does influence mean? Influence means to affect, all right? Affect, cause change. In the early 15th century, a series of events occurred that helped advance the Italian Renaissance. In the early 15th century, when is 15th century? 15th century is 14th something. Do you understand? Why? When is the first century? First century is from year 1 to year 100. Second century when? From year 101 to year 200. So 15th century is 14 something. A series of events occurred. A series. What's a series? Series is a number of things happening or coming one after the other. Is series, okay? Series of events. Event means something that happened, okay? Occurred. What does occur mean? Occur means to happen, okay? That helped advance the Italian Renaissance. Advance. What does that mean? Advance means to make progress, okay? First, there was a period of political and religious stability. Period of political. What does political mean? Political means relating to the actions or the activities to achieve power and use power in a society or a country. Do you understand? And religious stability. Religious. What does religious mean? Religious means relating to the belief of God, all right, and the activities related to it, such as praying or worshipping in a place like a church or a temple, all right? Religious stability. Stability is what? Stability is the quality of being not likely to change suddenly or not likely to come to an end suddenly, all right? Second, the northern Italian city-states of Florence, Genoa, Pisa, Milan, and Venice became extremely wealthy and powerful. The northern Italian city-states. City-states. What is a state? State is a country. City-state is a city-country. Do you understand? The city itself is a country. Florence, Genoa, Pisa. Okay. Hold on. Milan and Venice. Okay. Became extremely wealthy and powerful. Florence, all these are cities in Italy, all right? Florence is was one of the main centers of the Italian Renaissance, okay? The cultural and artistical center of Italian Renaissance. Genoa is a main port in Italy, all right? And it was an independent commercial city that had many colonies in the Middle Ages, all right? Pisa was also a flourishing maritime republic. Maritime means related to the sea, all right? So, and it's famous for having a leaning tower, the tower that leans, okay? Milan, okay? This was also center of the Italian Renaissance, okay? The center city. And Venice is a city which was also known for its great commercial and maritime power. Do you understand? And this city was formed on many islands, okay? And the mudflat of the lagoon of Venice. Lagoon means a lake, okay? Which is separated from the sea by a line of rock or sand, okay? By a line of rocks or sand. And Venice has a lot of, there are a lot of canals in Venice, okay? Canals is a waterway for boats, okay? And these are the cities of Italy. Became extremely wealthy. So you have to understand that Italy, in the Middle Ages, didn't have that much of that feudal system. Okay, feudal system is a political system in the Middle Ages. All right, when there were when people were given land and protection from the landlord from the higher ranks, and they worked for them and they fought for them in return. Do you understand? But in Italy, there was a lot of city-states, and these cities were independent. Okay, so feudalism were not very popular or common in Italy. That's why it was easy for them to develop a new thought, okay, which is Renaissance. Do you understand? They were less restricted. They were commercial cities rather than farmland. You understand? Okay. They became extremely wealthy. What does that mean, extremely? Extreme means to a very great extent, okay? Extremely wealthy and powerful. What does wealthy mean? Wealthy means possessing, having a lot of money or property or valuable possessions, all right? Wealthy and powerful. Just so you know, I mentioned Florence first because the architectural movement of the Italian Renaissance began there. I mentioned, just so you know, what does that mean? I'm saying this just for you to know. Okay? Just so you know, I mentioned Florence first. Mention, what does that mean? Mention means to say something briefly, shortly. Because the architectural movement of the Italian Renaissance began there. Architectural movement. What is a movement? Movement is a group of people having the same thought or aim, okay, or idea or opinion, okay. All of these city-states were run by influential families that enjoyed art and wanted new buildings designed and erected. All of these city-states were run. What does that mean, run? Run means operated, okay, or managed by influential families. Influential means having power, okay? Having power to affect other people, that enjoyed art and wanted new buildings designed and erected. What does design mean? Design means to make a plan how to make something, all right? And erect buildings. What does erect mean? Erect means to build something. Erect means to make something stand.